Hey everyone, so today we're going to ask an important question I think is on a lot of our minds in the James Bond community, is when are we likely going to get an announcement of the next James Bond? I'm going to dive into this and look into this whole problem as well right now. At the time of this recording, we are now in an era where we really don't know where the direction of the Bond series is going to take. The last time I experienced this was obviously between Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig, where so many names were being thrown out left, right and centre. No one really knew what direction the Bond series was going to take. So I think Casino Royale was a bit of a great surprise. And to be fair, it was a fantastic surprise to me. I love Casino Royale. But we're in that again. At the end of No Time to Die, obviously the way that film ended, we know we're going to get a complete full reboot of the franchise. We have no idea what direction they're going to take. I'll say this again here. I'm really a fan of taking Bond back to the 60s, but that's just me alone. But the time period we have now is also, in my opinion, really exciting. It's really open to a lot of speculation, a lot of rumours going around, a bit of like, ooh, could it be cool if they do it this way? Or would it be cool if they do it that way? We really don't know. And the biggest speculation out of all of that is who is going to be the next James Bond and when are they going to announce him? So with all that speculation, everyone, I really wanted to ask the question, when is it likely that they're going to announce the next James Bond? And when is it likely they're going to be casting the next James Bond? All these different questions here. I've decided to have a go at stabbing and answer that question, and that's the video I've got for you today. But before we get into that, everyone, can I ask, if you haven't already, why not consider liking, comment and subscribing? Don't forget to click the notification bell icon for future updates on all the videos. And without further ado, let's really dive into this idea and this question of when are they likely going to announce the next James Bond. So before we get into all the speculation and the ideas and the concepts here, let's just look at the solid, hardcore facts that we know come right out of the mouth of Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson. So the first thing we know is that Barbara Broccoli has said openly that they wouldn't start filming till late 2024. They've also said they claim they have not been looking for anyone just yet, but enjoying the 60th anniversary celebrations. And they are still developing their Bond reboot after the fallout of No Time to Die and Bond's death. So just looking over the three hardcore facts that we do know, they say they haven't been looking for a new actor, and I sort of believe them. But I do believe 100% without a shadow of a doubt that behind closed doors, even though that they have been saying that they've just been enjoying the 60th anniversary celebrations, I believe 100% they really have been actually hard at work developing the next reboot of James Bond, working out the new era behind closed doors, just not revealing anything to us. To say that they've been doing absolutely nothing for a year, I'm sorry, I just don't believe it for a second. So based on that, the likelihood of a new actor being announced this year in 2023 at the time of this recording is probably very low. If I was a betting man, I would give it a 20% chance it was going to happen. But taking out the actor just for a moment, what are the likely things that actually will be announced this year in 2023? One of the first things I think they're definitely going to announce this year will be the direction of the series. I think we're going to get some sort of announcement that, you know, Bond 26 is in development. It will still be set in the modern day, something along those lines. We'll get a definitive direction that the next era and the reboot is going to do. I think the other thing that's going to get announced is they're going to certainly announce that work has begun on the script. You know, they'll get screenwriters in. I'm sure Neil Purvis and Robert Wade will be brought in to start developing the story. I'm sure that will definitely be in the pipeline here. And it's also very likely that's going to be announced, because if they're going to shoot in 2024, they need to start developing the script this year. Come on. And I think the last important thing that we actually definitely will get announced this year is the new director for Bond 26. I'd like to just put a little full stop right here and just mention again, I've been hearing rumours circulating that it is going to be Christopher Nolan directing Bond 26 and also helping develop writing Bond 26. And again, I have no idea if these rumours are true. I can't take them to the bank. But for me, it would make a lot of sense still on that. I've always said I think he would be an absolute brilliant director for Bond because he absolutely adores it. And it does fit like he would finish Oppenheimer this year. They announced him as a director. His next project is Bond 26. That he's brought, you know, he's also developing the story and helped writing it as well. I see those dominoes slightly falling here, which I think for me is really good news. So when it comes to finding a new actor of James Bond, the truth of the matter is there is absolutely no point in finding an actor until you get those 3 things down. It's one of the things, you don't hire someone and then base a whole story and direction around that person. Before you even start looking for an actor, you need to know what direction you're going in. You need to have a story in place and a director. And then what you do when you've got your vision in your head, that is when you go searching for a new actor. So with all that being thought about, why are suddenly getting all these rumours and circulating things about Aaron Taylor-Johnson meeting the Bond producers? As it's mentioned in the news press, Aaron Taylor-Johnson apparently has met with Barbara Broccoli. They haven't actually officially cast him as James Bond. Now here on this channel, I've done a video myself about why I think Aaron Taylor-Johnson would be a great James Bond. Go check that out if you're interested. But all these have been is essentially meetings. I'm pretty sure by now that Barbara and Michael do have a direction in place. They know where they want to take the next era of James Bond. And I'm sure what that has been is basically primarily meetings. The way I akin the news of Aaron Taylor-Johnson is almost like when we all go for job interviews. Now, we grown-ups, we've all been for job interviews. We know what it's like. There's stages and rounds of interview, and I sort of see it a bit like that. Hi, yes, I'm Aaron Taylor-Johnson. Yes, very nice to meet you. So tell me a bit about yourself. Well, I've appeared in a few Marvel movies. I've done Bullet Train. I've done all these, great works. Did you enjoy them? Yes, absolutely, very much. So, tell me, what would be, just out of interest, your interpretation of James Bond? Well, blah, 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 blah. Very interesting. So, yeah, you're clearly a good actor, but, yeah, nice to meet you. It's been really great meeting you. Just nice to get a good bit of idea. See, that, to me, is the interpretation. And once they further develop the story and the ideas, they can go, well, you know what, we thought we were actually going this direction, but this direction's better. And even though we had this idea for, like, maybe Aaron Taylor-Johnson when we started this, maybe actually that other guy we saw, maybe like Henry Cavill, would be actually better for it. So this is how I think Bond news will be revealed in 2023 and in this order. The first thing is we'll have an announcement of official development probably at the end of February, maybe the start of February, who knows. After that, we'll get news that the story is being scripted out by Neil Pearson and Rob Wade, most likely. We'll probably get later this year a director announced, and sometime maybe later on in the year, or maybe a bit earlier, back when they announce official development, we will get a full release date. So to conclude this video, when will they announce the next actor to play James Bond? Well, I don't think that's going to be until 2024. Now, if we look at the Daniel Craig timeline between his announcement as James Bond and filming of James Bond, that might actually give us an answer to this question. Daniel Craig was announced as James Bond in a massive press conference in October 2005, and they started filming Casino Royale in January 2006. So if we just take what happened with Daniel Craig as a template here, let's just say they start filming November 2024. We are maybe looking at a potential window of August 2024 when they'll do a big press conference and announce the next James Bond. I want to leave this just by saying it's really fun to speculate here who the next James Bond will be, and so many people really want the answer. They want the answer now. And my honest answer to that is, everyone, let's just enjoy this fun speculation time. This is a time period where we don't know what's going to happen, and we can just theorize and speculate and come up with our own ideas and allow that creativity of the Bond community to really shine. And when we do get some news, we can change our ideas and think, ooh, maybe this, maybe that. Let's just assume it's going to be a while and take a breather and just enjoy this fun ride of speculation and wondering what direction they're going to go in. But I want to know, everyone, do you agree with my predictions of August 2024 for announcement for the next James Bond actor? Do you wish it was sooner? Do you think it will be later? I want to know. Comment down below and tell me your whole thoughts about it. I'm very interested to know. As always, everyone, if you have liked this video, do watch other videos on the channel. I am the Bond Geek. I'm Henry Stevens. Goodbye.